What's going on, everyone? Welcome. It is Sunday, August 22nd, and here we are for the NXT TakeOver 36 post show. How are you guys doing? Hopefully, a lot of you guys are here from the watch along. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I've had a blast this weekend. It's actually been crazy. I think this is the most content that I have ever made in my entire life over this weekend. This is the 6th live stream over the past 3 days, and it's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun. Lots of good shows. Times are changing in wrestling, and everything seems to just be extremely chaotic. So thank you all for tuning in with me. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to be here for maybe about 30 to 60 minutes to talk about NXT TakeOver 36. And let me know what you guys thought about it. I finally figured out how to do polls on the watch along. I can't believe it. People have been telling me to do polls on here for the longest time, and I've been like, hey, I don't have them. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to get them. I don't have them. I do have them. I'm just an idiot. So we got them. There's a poll going on right now. Let me know what you thought about NXT TakeOver. The choices are great, good, meh, and bad. And so far, great and good are doing the thing. You know what? I might change it a little bit later too to find out what your guys' favorite show was. Because there was a couple shows on this week, couple huge moments this week as well. We have a lot to talk about. And, I think I have some video topics for this upcoming week as well, because there's just so much going on. Hoodie says, we got new champions, and it is such good shit. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir. Safa says, Ilja, Dragonuv, and Walter had the best match of the year. Favorite match of the weekend for sure. Those guys absolutely killed it. Shout out to Ilja Dragunov. That man is a goddamn legend tonight after that match. Absolutely incredible. Give this man's all the stars. I loved it. And I loved the post-match interview that he did as well, where he said the ring general has fallen. Pure flames, my friend. Pure flames. I'm very excited. Very excited. Ashley says, one of the best NXT takeovers recently. I really enjoyed it, man. This was a really good show. Aside from the third fall for the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly match, I thought this was a very, 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 very solid show. Very good. Cody says, to be honest, I wish Karrion the best and the best of luck in the main roster. Yeah, so it seems Karrion Kross is probably headed for Monday Night Raw full time now. It'll be interesting as well because no Scarlett. Fantastic said Dakota Kai should have won. It kind of seems like she's going to be headed up to Raw or SmackDown because she's been in dark matches and stuff like that. And I think Raquel Gonzalez kind of fits with what they want to go through going forward. Tonight is the end of an era, which we're going to talk about as well, probably at the very end of the show. NXT may not be the same after tonight. This may be the last of this particular era. I guess, I don't know what you want to call it. The USA Network era, the third brand era, the not developmental era. I don't know, whatever it is you want to call it. This might be the very last time that we see this form of NXT. Changes are incoming. We're going to talk about that at the end. I think we're going to close the show off there because there's a lot of unknowns currently. Pete Dunne leaving too. Pete Dunne, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Pete Dunne's contract status. Aside from when it was first reported. I haven't heard anything else about it since then, unfortunately. Hoodie says Adam Cole is officially done in NXT. Yeah, so Adam Cole is 100% done in NXT. That's it. That's a wrap. That is a wrap for Adam Cole. I don't know if it's a wrap for Adam Cole in WWE. I would assume so, but Cole is 100% done with NXT. And I think most people probably knew that, I think they probably knew that. Safa says, I think Kyle was actually injured. That's why the third fall was rushed. It might be. Tonight was a pretty short show. I think it was about 2.5 hours long. 3 hours if you include the 30-minute post show. So not bad. I feel like this is the perfect length for a pay-per-view. Short and sweet. Give us the things that we want to see. Give us the things that are important and let everything else play out on your show. I wish that main roster WWE would do this kind of thing as well, because it makes this makes the pay-per-views feel more important. And also, like, on that note as well, it really makes the TV shows feel more important as well, because you can have more stuff play out on them. It makes sense to me, but apparently they don't give a shit. So that'll be interesting. Also, there was an interview that Nick Khan did today with BT Sports. So I'm going to watch that, and there will be a little report on that. That's probably going to be on the website, maybe a series of posts on Instagram as well. So I'll kind of see how that plays out. But a lot of interesting stuff was said there about NXT and about the future for WWE and what they're looking for and about the releases. So I haven't had the chance to take a look at it, but I want to. He still hasn't signed a new contract with WWE. Yeah, so Fightful Select reported earlier that as of this morning, Adam Cole had not signed a new contract with WWE. So I think that's enough to say that it's a wrap. It's a wrap for Adam Cole in WWE. And I think I want to end the show with that as well. Safa says, whatever the case is with Adam Cole, he's on the Mount Rushmore of NXT forever. Yeah, goated for sure. 100%, man. Jose says, I feel like there's no challengers for Joe. Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think that was a problem with Kross. That's why, while this match, everyone really, really wanted it, but it didn't feel like it was a solution to anything, because Kross destroyed everyone. Like he absolutely destroyed them. There was nothing left for Kross. So you have Joe here who got the win over Kross, and now it's kind of like in that same spot where if they couldn't beat Kross, what makes you think that they could beat Joe? You know? How's it going, James? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Wensley says Nick Khan really said no more independent wrestlers anymore or any of that type. Isn't that crazy, dude? I heard that. That is for sure. The Saying Gamer says, I'd say this is the best week of professional wrestling of 2021 so far. Yeah, it's a pretty good week. Crazy week. We had AEW Rampage on Friday night. Well, we had WWE SmackDown on Friday night, followed up by AEW Rampage. The not in-ring debut, but the return of CM Punk. He is officially All Elite. He has signed with the company. Then yesterday on Saturday, we got WWE SummerSlam 2021. Becky Lynch returned. Brock Lesnar returned. Big event. And now NXT TakeOver 36 tonight. Big show. They really tried to hit it home that tonight was the end of the chapter and starting a new story here in NXT. They said that a couple of times on commentary. Samoa Joe's the new champion. Ilja Dragunov knocked off Walter to become the new NXT UK champion. Raquel retains her championship, and Kaylee Ray from NXT UK shows up. Lots of interesting stuff, man. Lots of interesting stuff. Fantastic says Kai and Raquel was phenomenal. The video package was insane. The match was great. I liked it. I liked tonight's show. Tonight's show was great. This is NXT takeovers really don't disappoint. They hardly ever disappoint. They're always really good, and tonight was no exception to that. Great show. Well, all the hype dies tomorrow with rematch Monday. Yeah, dude. No, thank you. And you got Moist TV coming up with Logan Paul tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. James says now that Punk has arrived, AEW is the best. Pause. Oh, I got you. All right, I got you. This is from James. He says AEW is the best in the world. There you go, my friend. I got you. Jose says Timothy would be a good choice. Sure, you could do Timothy Thatcher. Tommaso Ciampa would be a good one as well if they could make it work, but I don't know what the future holds for NXT, and that's we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that at the end. We're already 12 minutes in, so let's get started talking about tonight's show, and we'll work our way through, and we'll talk about things when certain people are on the screen, and we'll go off the air talking about the future of NXT. Honor says, despite the booking, NXT is still a damn great in-ring show with phenomenal talent to top to bottom. 100%, man. 100%. I couldn't agree more. Ilja versus Walter was insane, and I'm glad Ilja got his moment. I know I spelled Walter's name wrong, but that's because that's what I call him. Oh, Walter. Oh, I didn't even notice. How's it going, Aeon? Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in with the watch along. I appreciate it. And now with the post show. Raven says, with Kyle and Adam on one hand, you could say it's a wacky ending, and on the other, you can say it's pretty badass that Kyle still managed to make Cole tap while handcuffed. Yeah, for sure. AEW trying to cliffhang the boys. Yeah, that's how we do here. That's how we do. If I have enough time, I want to make an Adam Cole video tonight, and I want to make an NXT video tonight as well. If I do have enough time, I plan to release the Adam Cole video tomorrow morning, and the NXT video will be for Tuesday morning. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, so let's get into the show here. Let's see. Tonight's episode of NXT. 40 votes on the poll. Oh, nice. Oh, someone voted for me. Tonight's episode of NXT TakeOver 36 started off with LA Knight defending his $1 million championship against Cameron Grimes, with the $1 million man himself, Ted DiBiase, in the corner. This was great. I loved this match. This was a really good match to open up the show with. It was a nice little feel good moment that the fans wanted to see. Show the fans some love. You know, there's nothing wrong with showing fans love and giving them what they want. That's a lesson that we're learning right now from AEW. Give people what they want. It works, man. It works. And this was no exception. I really liked Cameron Grimes' entrance as well. He came out. First Ted DiBiase came out, right? And then he brought out a trash can that had a money sign on it, and it was all glittered up and looking all $1 million-ish, if you know what I mean. Cameron Grimes entered with his butler outfit on, and he ended up walking over to the trash can, ripping it all off to reveal new gear that he had. And he had the shorts back. They were black with a vest that was black as well. And I think there was some gold trim on the vest. And it was very sparkly, glittery, looked like $1,000,000, pun intended, on that one. And it was great. It was a really good way to start off the show. Elvis says, this sounds kind of ridiculous, but I want Jungle Boy to do the Tarzan yell when he wins his first title. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I need to turn on the fan in here, man. It's hotter than hell. Oh, I don't have the fan in here. Oh, man. Okay. Rip my life. Dave says, I get so much hate for being a big Raquel fan. Like, what more does she have to prove? I don't see anything wrong with liking Raquel Gonzalez. James says, Survivor Series, can I please get a stadium, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam? Hell no, you can't. But yeah, good match to start off the show here. Cameron Grimes finally gets the win over LA Knight, and he's freed. He's no longer a butler, and he saves Ted DiBiase from becoming a butler as well. And new $1 million champion. I'm very excited to see where this goes from here. I hope that we don't get, I mean, man, it's really hard to talk about the future of NXT because we don't really know what's going on. We don't know what's going on, man. Like, we don't know who they're gonna favor for pushing. We don't know any sort of thing of what's going on. So I just hope they don't continue to run LA Knight and Grimes, and I hope that we have a lot of really cool segments with Cameron Grimes as $1 million champion now, and with Ted DiBiase. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it back and they made LA Knight Cameron Grimes butler. I could totally see them doing it. Not that I want to see it, but you know, it might lend to some really good videos. Do you think they bring Scarlett back? I think that, okay, I don't know. I've heard mixed things. So I kind of have heard that Scarlett is just going to be wrestling, and I've heard that the plan is to have Kross look weak without Scarlett, and then Scarlett will return and Kross will become a dominant person again. So I don't know which one's true. Adam Cole merch is on clearance. I think all of NXT's merch is on clearance from what I understand. But yeah, like I said, good match to open up the show. Nice feel good moment. This was the perfect match to open up the show. Next up, we had Raquel Gonzalez defending her NXT Women's Championship against her former best bud, Dakota Kai. Overall, I thought this match was good, but there were a couple of spots that were a little hit or miss here. A couple kicks that didn't really connect here and there. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent match, and I'm not really surprised to see that Raquel Gonzalez retained the NXT Championship. It kind of seems like, from the rumors that we've heard, right, it's that they want tall people and they want bigger people. I don't know if that applies to the women per se, but Raquel Gonzalez is tall, so she might fit that category that they're looking to push next. And she doesn't have that same wrestling style as all the other people. WWE hates wrestling, and they do not want any indie people on there. And so I could see God, I'm getting names mixed up. I could see Dakota Kai getting the boot. I think that she's gonna debut on Raw or SmackDown here pretty soon, if I had to guess. Does Dakota get called up? Yes. Yeah, I think so. Eon says, are you gonna be watching SmackDown this week? Because now Brock and Becky are back as well. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a watch along for SmackDown. Maybe. I've had a blast doing the watch alongs. The watch along would have to stop though when when AEW came on though, because the doing the watch alongs for AEW and having to like take the pictures and do all that stuff is a lot. So we'll see. And eventually, I think we're gonna go back to doing AEW Underground on Mondays and FFPW on Fridays. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll kind of see. We all thought Kai was gonna win, but we was wrong. Damn. Yeah, man. If you were on the watch along, we all voted for Dakota Kai, and we got lost. We all lost. It was 100% of the votes as well were for Dakota Kai. Obi James says, watch the main roster called Dakota just Kai. Yep, 100%. She'll be Dakota or just Kai. One of the two. James says one person I would love to see return to WWE as part of the NXT brand is Paige. That'd be interesting. I think at some point she was looking to try to return, but I'm not sure if that ever happened. I don't know, like if anything ever happened with that, if there was any progress. I haven't seen anything else about it. Maybe there was a little bit of hope when people like Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe started coming back, and Christian and Edge and all that. Rocco says Kross got up for a send-off after NXT went off the air and they chanted Hardy at him. No way, dude. Really? Really? On a send-off, they chanted for Hardy for him? Man, that sucks. You think WWE will ever change, or will it progressively get worse? At this point right now, I would say worse. But I think there's going to be a time where that changes. I do. I think that at some point they will realize, or at some point they will sell, and things will change and things will be better. I do have a couple of things to say about NXT changing that may be for the better. It is sad that it's changing, but there might be a positive side to it. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. We all took an L. Yeah, we did for sure. Elvis says I'd watch SmackDown, but I'll be going to high school football games on Friday since it's my senior year, and it looks like I'll be missing a couple of SmackDown episodes for the next month or two. Sounds good, man. Hope you enjoy your football games. You DM me the video. Okay, I'll check it out. Raquel is going to be a dominant champion for sure. She's starting to grow on me. Yeah, you know, for me, I just wish that they would have done the story backwards. I would have done the whole thing the complete opposite, with Raquel turning on Dakota Kai. And this would have been the match where, so Kai would have had this championship reign this whole time, as Dakota's had it, or as Raquel's had it. Man, I'm just botching names left and right today. Dakota Kai would have been champion in my scenario, and Raquel would have helped her retain it the whole time. She would have realized that Dakota Kai just couldn't retain the championship herself, and she's tired of her evil heel ways, and she wants to be a babyface. Damn it, it's time to be a babyface. And she turns on Dakota Kai, and of course Kai, she can't hang with Raquel. She's big, dominant. So here she gets it. I feel like that would have made people connect with her a lot more, and I feel like that would have really helped her get over, because people haven't really connected with Raquel Gonzalez or Kross this entire time, in my opinion. I feel like they're the weakest NXT champions we've seen in quite a while, and that goes with MSK as well. I just don't feel like these guys fit in currently. Gorg and Lashley are not finished. Man, it made me so happy to see that gold Titantron thing and have it be censored. That was just the funniest thing I've seen. Raw desperately needs some women. Only Charlotte, Nikki, and Rhea are feuding with each other, so I think she might go to Raw. Yeah, I mean, SmackDown does too. But AOW botching names more than Big Oof botches moves. Yeah, it's rough out here today. Man, I've been streaming for so long. I've streamed for probably like 15 hours probably this week. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I've never streamed that much in my life. Good evening. Why can't the main roster pay-per-views be as good as takeovers? I don't know, man. I don't know. You would think that with being the same company, you think they'd be able to figure it out, but apparently they can't. Would you expect to see Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair at Survivor Series? Maybe. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw Charlotte lose the title really quickly. Again, it seems like they're just trying to pad up those numbers to get her back up. We talked about that yesterday as well. Ashley says it was obviously Gorg, because he did more than just a spear and a jackhammer. Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed. Now Kross is going to get buried on Raw? Maybe. What happened to Toni Storm? I have no clue, man. She debuted, and then that was pretty much it. I don't think she's been seen since, which is crazy. Because Toni Storm's really talented. It seems like someone that you would want on your show, right? You would think, instead of just having Bianca Belair squash Carmella and Zelina. Full merch is actually on sale. There's a promo for it. I was told that all NXT merch is on sale. When's the draft? I think December. Is that when they said? November? December? Something like that? I don't know. WWE debut logic? Debut? What? Oh, do you mean squash? You need your Toni Storm fix? It's Tony time, man. It's Tony time. Kross will compete for the 24/7 championship now. That's a big oof. That's a big oof right there. Do you know what I don't get? Why people keep saying I'm prediction that Karrion is not gonna get buried? Kross might not get buried. Yeah, okay. So WWE has a completely different logic than all of us. In fact, they have zero logic. So they seem to think that him getting buried in 30 seconds wasn't actually him being buried. It was long-term storytelling, and that that loss made him pissed off, and it will make him a more aggressive person or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So they operate under the notion that people don't know who these guys are, right? They're acting like no one knows who Karrion Kross is. But yet they're trying to tell a story where a tough guy is losing and then becoming more tough, but like you've never established him as tough, and he comes from your developmental territory that none of us watch, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, this is a story that you would tell after Karrion Kross has been dominant on the main roster for a certain amount of time with Scarlett, and then you take away Scarlett, and then you see that downfall. You don't just put Karrion Kross in there with the NXT championship saying that he's the face of that brand, that developmental brand, and then have him lose in 20 seconds. It just doesn't make sense. Because in theory, in their minds, you have no idea who Scarlett is. You have no idea that Scarlett's gone. And you have no idea that when she returns, that she was actually be returning instead of just randomly joining him. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I saw a really good tweet earlier, and I wish that I would have saved it because I don't know who said it. Someone said booking wrestling is chess. Oh my God. I need a break, man. I need a break. Okay. They said booking wrestling is checkers, not chess. Meaning that it should be simple, not complicated. And I couldn't agree more. And I think that the problem is that in WWE, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many. There's a giant creative team. Then there's Vince, and there's Vince's yes men, his surrounding entourage, if you will, whatever it is that you want to call them, right? So the creative team writes something. Vince's inner circle says, oh, okay, maybe he'll like this. He gives it to him. He says, hey, you know what? I like this. This is such good shit. And then they rewrite it. They make it their own, and they make it to where they feel it will come across good on TV. And then it comes back to creative, and then creative is like, bro, what the hell is this? I didn't give you this. It's so much different than when I gave it to you that this isn't even the same thing. And it's like, why? It should be so much more simpler. Let people decide what they should and shouldn't do story-wise, and have them run it by a team. And the team is like, yes, this is good. No, this isn't good. Maybe you should try this. Or like, hey, yes, but not right now. Give us like 2 or 3 months, right? And then we'll try to work there. And then, if it's not going well, then lesson learned. You cancel it, you move on. Or you say, hey, you know what? Actually, you are not very good at being head of creative. So we're going to fire you. We're going to move you to something else. Or we're going to put someone new in charge that can oversee all of this and hopefully, pick the right stories and pick the right things to do moving forward. That makes sense to me. I don't know why you have to have so many cooks in the kitchen. And it's like, dude, it's like giving, like, okay, like I said, I want to make an Adam Cole video tonight, hopefully. It's like having someone else write the script for me and then giving it to me. And it's like, you don't know how I speak. You don't know the words that I use. You don't know how I flow. You don't know my cadence. You don't know any of that stuff. So you shouldn't be telling me what to say. You should be saying, hey, you're going to make this Adam Cole video. Here's the topics, right? Adam Cole doesn't have a new deal. He hasn't signed another one. The Young Bucks tweeted this. Like, you should give someone points that they need to get across, and then you should have them do it in their own way. That's what you should do. And like a perfect example of this, I will always throw to this because I really enjoyed it. WWE's mixed match challenge that they have. It was so good. It was a male and a female wrestler tag team, mixed tag team tournament. It was on Facebook Live. It was a couple of years ago at this point, but it was so much fun. It aired after SmackDown, I think, on Facebook, and everyone was just free to have fun. And you could tell you could tell they had AJ Styles and Charlotte, right? And you had you had AJ Styles acting like a goof, right? He's doing like the Ric Flair strutting, and he's like, woo. He like a really bad woo. And him and Charlotte are going back and forth. And then you had Rusev and Lana, and you had Naomi. Like, it was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. And even commentary was having fun because it wasn't so overbooked. And you can tell the difference. So it was like, man, you watch an episode of SmackDown and then you go right into Mixed Match Challenge, and it's just night and day. So robotic on SmackDown, and then so much fun on Mixed Match Challenge. And you could just tell that when people are having fun and they're doing what they love, you can tell. It's so much easier to tell when someone is just doing what they're told as opposed to doing what they love. It's crazy. Fabulous Truth with the dance breaks. Yes, like that birthed all of that stuff. I'm surprised they haven't brought it back. It would be a lot of fun. I thought it was great. If Adam Cole gets to SmackDown, Pat McAfee is going to have a feud with him forever. Yeah. That's sad because that was great. That was great, man. Shout out to Pat McAfee. He has brought a lot of life to the SmackDown commentary team. Okay, so enough with this. Raquel Gonzalez defeats Dakota Kai and retains her NXT Women's Championship. And while she was celebrating, NXT UK's Kaylee Ray showed up. She made her presence known in regular NXT. And I think she was a NXT UK Women's Champion for a very long time, I think. She just lost it not too long ago to Miko Satomura, if I'm pronouncing that right. I could not be. She was the WWE NXT UK Women's Champion for 649 days. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, Miko Satomura, she lost it to her 74 days ago, so about 2 months ago. So yeah, Kaylee Ray, that'll be pretty cool. Her and Raquel Gonzalez will probably have a good match together. Kaylee Ray versus Raquel Gonzalez. Yeah, seems like that's what's coming up. Seems like that is what's coming up. Oh, next up we move up to match of the night. One of my favorite matches that I've ever seen in recent memory. This match ruled. This match kicked all of the ass. This is Walter defending his NXT UK Championship against Ilja Dragunov. This match was incredible. I cannot express enough how incredible this match was. It was an absolute pleasure to watch this match. And man, Ilja, this man's is a goddamn legend right now. This is a huge moment for him. To dethroning Walter is crazy, right? It's unheard of. And not only did he beat Walter, he made him tap out. And it was believable, dude. The ending, this match was crazy. There was a lot of crazy moments in this match altogether. All the lariats, all the elbows that were being thrown, the headbutts, the chops, like, man, it was all crazy. It was all so good. But the ending was so good. If you haven't watched their first match, go ahead and watch it. I have seen that. I did go watch that. That match is really good too, man. These guys have a really good chemistry together. They absolutely killed it tonight. They absolutely killed it. So, okay. So towards the end here, Ilja gets Walter in a sleeper. He will not let go. Walter's doing anything and everything that he can to get out of it. Ilja lets go at some point, starts throwing bows at the back of his neck area, the back of his head. He's just striking him like crazy. He's just like raining down fists all over the place on Walter. And it is crazy. Then he goes back in, grabs the sleeper once again. Walter goes over to the corner, try to get out of it. Can't get out of it. He just continues to hold on. He lets off of it again and starts kicking Walter in the face, in the head, puts the sleeper back on, and eventually Walter ends up tapping out. And you have your new NXT UK champion in Ilja Dragunov. The finish was so good. It's so good, man. Like, he just could not get out of that move. And he was really working the back of the neck and the head area that whole entire time, trying to make sure that he could secure that win. And it was just, It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I might end up going back and rewatching this match because it was a goddamn masterpiece, man. It was so good. So good. This is what I love to see. And oddly enough, this is what they want to take away from NXT, man. It's crazy. Hoodie says that match should get a 10-star. It really should. Give that match all of the stars. And I said this earlier, I think on the post show when we were starting it, but that backstage interview that they did with Ilja Dragunov, when he said that the ring general has fallen, oh man, that hit different. That was it was so cool, man. It was so cool. Shout out to him. I hope that Ilja Dragunov has a really good reign as NXT UK champion. And it seems like, oddly enough, I don't watch NXT UK. I've seen a lot of the really good matches that people have suggested that I watch, and I've watched them and they're great. But one of the things that I really like about NXT UK is the way that they manage their champions. And let me see. I can bring this up really quick because I think that I can find it. Their champions hold their titles for so long. Let's look at Walter. Oh god, there's a lot of titles. Okay. Walter was the NXT UK champion for 870 days. 870 days. Okay. So Tyler Bate is the first ever NXT UK champion. He won that belt in January 15th of 2017 and held it for 125 days. Pretty decent reign. The person that dethroned him was Pete Dunne in 2017. Pete Dunne held that title for 685 days. That's a world champion right there. That's a world champion. Then Walter defeated Pete Dunne in 2019, held the title for 870 days until tonight, where he lost it to Ilja Dragunov. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Where's the other ones? Kaylee Ray. Let's look at the women's. The women's are pretty good. Interesting news, Brian. What about him? The first ever NXT UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley held the title for 139 days. Toni Storm dethroned her. 231 days. Kaylee Ray dethroned her. 649 days. Miko Satomura dethroned Kaylee Ray, and she's been champion currently for 74 days. Look at the lengths of these reigns, and look at the names of the people. Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, Kaylee Ray, Walter, Pete Dunne. Like, these people are crazy talented, crazy over. I love the way that they book their champions. And I know that there's, for a lot of them, there's a huge delay in defenses and stuff like that because of the pandemic and yada, yada, yada. But I love the prestige of the championships in NXT UK. It's crazy. Marcelo says Brian Alvarez says he has no idea why Meltzer said Bray Wyatt is coming to AEW as his AEW source who would know if he's coming has no idea. He said Daniels 100% though. Nice. Yeah, I would expect Bryan Danielson to be 100% locked. Wednesday says NXT UK has the most prestigious titles in all of WWE, and that's it. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And I don't necessarily think that every single championship reign needs to be that long. But it really plays into it of how great it is. Because when you look at other championship reigns like the Intercontinental Championship or the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship, it's a couple days, a couple months at best. And it just, I don't know. It's not for me. It makes the championships feel weak. And to me, if you're a world champion, or even if you're an Intercontinental or United States champion, it means that you're the best in that division, right? So it shouldn't be easy to knock you off. It should be a big deal. You are the number one person there. And that should be important. And it's just not there, which is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But I will say this once again. If you have not seen this Ilja Dragunov and Walter match, please make sure to go back and watch it as soon as you possibly can, because this match, kicked all of the ass. It was very good. Match of the night, match of the weekend, 100% without a doubt. Think Walter transitions to NXT or to a flagship show? Someone earlier had said that Walter doesn't want to come to the US and wrestle full time. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect from Walter. I am not sure. Elvis says, I loved how in the middle of the match, the monster inside Ilja became unleashed and how he got more aggressive during the rest of the match. I loved every moment of it. Yeah, it was really good, man. And he was getting, he was hashtag getting that ass whooped in the entire beginning of the match and ended up turning it around. I just love it. It was really good. It was really good. James says Dragonuv versus Walter really stole the show. Matches like this prove that in NXT there is a power that you just can't kill. Yep. Couldn't agree more, man. This match was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Next up, we had Adam Cole taking on Kyle O'Reilly in a 2 out of 3 falls match. More like a 3 stages of hell match. Kyle O'Reilly ended up winning, and it went to the 3rd fall. I'm not surprised. So let's start a new poll here. Start a new poll. Come on, end. You can end. Let's see what everyone thinks here. Awesome match, but the finish was questionable. Yeah, I didn't like the finish to the 3rd fall. Okay, so the question is Adam Cole done with WWE? Yes. No. All right, here we go. New poll has started. Let me know what you guys think as we talk about this match. So this 2 out of 3 falls match, the first fall is a singles match. The second fall was a street fight. And if it went to the 3rd fall, it got turned into a steel cage match. And of course, I mean, it's always pretty obvious that these always go to the 3rd fall. So we all knew that there was going to be a cage match tonight. Kyle O'Reilly ended up stealing the 1st fall away from Adam Cole via roll up, which I was really not expecting. I was not expecting to see a roll up in this match. Then these two beat the hell out of each other in a street fight. Lots of crazy moments here. Both dudes had chains wrapped around their fists and they were striking each other, but the most brutal of all of them is that Adam Cole threw Kyle O'Reilly off of the top rope onto 2 steel chairs that were facing like, okay, so if you have a chair, right, they're facing like this. So the tops of them where your back rests, he threw him on top of it. And that was crazy, man. I can't believe that people do that spot, because that's gotta hurt. That's crazy to me. That is absolutely insane that someone would want to do that spot. Oh God, dude, it's so crazy. The most devastating move in all of sports history. Yes, the roll up. And then also Adam Cole caught Kyle O'Reilly in the little O'Reillys later on as well. But Adam Cole did end up securing the 2nd fall in this 2 out of 3 falls match. And it did go to the 3rd fall. We got ourselves a steel cage. The 3rd fall did not last for very long. It was not, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 minutes, I think, probably give or take, was them actually in the steel cage. And what ended up happening was Adam Cole pulled the handcuffs out of his elbow pad, I think, and handcuffed Kyle O'Reilly to one of the ropes, the top rope, and began to give him a super kick party. He hit him with 2 super kicks, and on the 3rd one, Kyle O'Reilly caught his foot, dropped down, and locked him into a heel hook with only one hand. One hand. And Adam Cole tapped out. Really kind of a questionable finish. I don't really understand. It seemed really anticlimactic. I've heard a couple people say that Kyle O'Reilly may have actually been injured. So I do understand if that is the case. I'm not sure or not, but the ending was very questionable. This felt like a really weird send-off for Adam Cole, if that's what, I mean, no matter which way you look at it, this is a send-off for Adam Cole. Adam Cole is done in NXT, period. Done. There's no more Adam Cole in NXT. If Adam Cole is staying with the company, he's not going to be on NXT anymore. It's over. So this is the last time that we will ever see Adam Cole in an NXT ring. And it just felt so weird. It just felt really weird. It did. And the matches between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly have been great. They've been very entertaining. They've been brutal. They've beat the absolute hell out of each other for weeks, months, whatever it is. But the whole Undisputed Era split up really felt weird. It's always been Cole and O'Reilly. Like, Roderick Strong was never a part of it. Bobby Fish was never a part of it. There was never really anything going on between Undisputed Era. This whole thing has always just been Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Strong and Bobby Fish had their thing for 2 seconds because of Diamond Mine, but that was it. And then Bobby Fish got released. And oddly enough, rumors broke like days before that Adam Cole was working a handshake deal with WWE because his deal expired somewhere around the Great American Bash or something like that. And he's working on a handshake deal through SummerSlam weekend, which is this weekend. And that was it. During an episode of SmackDown, NXT released a bunch of people. And one of those people included on that list was Bobby Fish and Tyler Russ, which is crazy. But it just so happens that at that episode of SmackDown, Vince McMahon had requested a private meeting with Adam Cole, presumably to talk about his future with WWE. I wonder how that went. How can you possibly sit me down, look me in the face, and tell me, I'm assuming, that everything is going to be fine for me on the main roster and that I won't get buried and forgotten about, when I know damn well that you don't like people of my size? And not only that, you just fired one of my best friends from one of the greatest stables of all time in WWE. How? If I'm Adam Cole, how can I take that seriously? I can't. I wouldn't take that risk. And everyone is disposable at this point. You know, I may have said Adam Cole may be safe, but WWE legit got rid of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. That is still a shock to me. Braun Strowman is literally what WWE wants. That's what they want in a person. He's a person that wasn't a wrestler. He was a strong man doing the strong man shit. They brought him in, conditioned him, built him to what they wanted him to be. They got him into the main event, and then they released him. That's crazy to me. I mean, obviously it's because they feel like he was making too much money, and that was the downfall of the AEW effect. That is part of, like, all these people that got released, I feel like are victims of the AEW effect. When AEW first got announced and they were hitting TV and all that stuff was going on, WWE secured anyone and everyone that they could to huge money deals and some of the longest contract terms that they've ever given. I think they were giving out like 5-year deals plus and stuff like that. And the Good Brothers are on record saying that they were going. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think the Young Bucks have stated it. The Good Brothers have stated it. The first episode of Dynamite was supposed to reunite the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks and all of them, the Good Brothers, were supposed to make their debut on Dynamite, and they were gonna reunite the Bullet Club and do all that stuff. Triple H ended up talking the Good Brothers into staying, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, by saying that you have kids. Like, you can't take a risk on this company failing. You know that we're always going to be here and we'll treat you right and we'll pay you and yada, 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 yada. So they ended up taking that deal only to get released because they make too much money. Like, man, that stuff is crazy to me. That stuff is so crazy to me. So I can't possibly see why someone like Adam Cole would want to be in WWE. And the final nail in the coffin for Adam Cole is that he streams on Twitch all the time. And that is something that WWE does not allow anymore. No third-party stuff is allowed for the WWE superstars. They're not allowed to stream. They're not allowed to do any of that stuff. Why? I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. And just recently, a couple days ago, Adam Cole was on stream saying that he loves everyone that watches him, and he will always be streaming, and this community is the best, and that he won't give this up for anything. So I think that's enough to say that Adam Cole's done in WWE and that he's going to move on. And I assume it's AEW. I mean, that's where some of his other friends are. The Young Bucks, he's dead, so they could have a lot of cool BTE stuff about reviving him from the dead. Obviously, his girlfriend, Britt Baker, DMD, is there, the current AEW Women's World Champion, and she is on fire right now. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of benefit from going over there. The noise from CM Punk signing over there. Bryan Danielson is imminent as well. He's rumored to debut at the New York show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. It's the place to be. It's the place to be, and that's just kind of how it is right now. James says the entire rivalry between Cole and O'Reilly was like an Oscar-winning trilogy. Everything about it was golden. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I liked it. I just feel like the third the finish to the third fall was just a little weak for this being the end of everything. Dial says, to be fair, Triple H and HBK would probably vouch hard for Cole, but Cole would probably be scared still. Buddy Murphy, yeah, Buddy Murphy rumored to be there as well. So I mean, okay, this is nothing new, right? This is nothing new. Vince McMahon is not a fan of things that he didn't create. If he didn't create you, it's not good. If he didn't train you, you're not good. Like that's always been a thing with Vince. Always. He did it with ECW people. He did it with WCW people. If you weren't a homegrown talent, he didn't necessarily want you. There's a few exceptions to that, of course, like Chris Jericho and stuff like that. But you know, that's just the way that he is. So I'm not surprised that, you know, Adam Cole might get lost in the shuffle. He didn't create him. Adam Cole is not a creation of Vince McMahon. Elvis says WWE only cares about money, and they release a bunch of stars and ban third-party stuff just so wrestlers don't make more than what they make in the company. Yeah, which is crazy to me. Like, to me, I talked about this, I think, yesterday on the post show, or it might have been the watch along yesterday, but I was talking about ways to connect with wrestlers aside from wrestling, right? And I think that like WWE's other shows where they do like the 24s or the 365s, or they did Swerve, or Total Divas is one of them as well. Total Bellas is one of them, where you kind of get, like, while they may be scripted, you kind of get a different side of someone, and maybe you can relate to them in some sort of thing. Maybe someone's actually funny. Like, who would have looked at Rusev and thought that he was funny? That's hilarious. He's crazy. So that's one of the big things that drew me to liking Rusev and wanting him to actually leave and go get treated right and be Miro in AEW, and it's worked. Same thing with Breezango, you know? They're goofy, they're fun, they had the Fashion Files, they did a couple things on like Ride Along and stuff, and I really enjoyed those. I really enjoyed those. They really helped make me connect to other people. Man, why does Vince have to be a dickhead? I don't know. He's just an old man that's just in his own way, you know? That's just how it is. You know, I've worked with people who are stuck in their own ways as well, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It just kind of is what it is. God's favorite champion. Yes, so good, man. Hoodie says breaking up Undisputed Era and the Hurt Business made no sense at all. Two of the best factions in two different brands. Yeah, and I mean, you know, Undisputed Era, I feel like I really don't feel like Undisputed Era had a shelf life, to be honest. And the Hurt Business was just getting started. I don't understand why they had to break up the Hurt Business to continue to do what they're doing with Bobby Lashley right now. I think it would have been fine. And look what happened. Shelton Benjamin, nowhere to be found. Cedric Alexander, I don't think he's anywhere to be found either. They're not doing anything. So why not just keep him? And the crazy thing too is that Shelton Benjamin wasn't doing anything before. Cedric Alexander wasn't really doing anything before. So you give these people something to do and people connect with them, and then you're just like, oh, yeah? Well, you like that? Well, too bad. Too bad. It's a wrap. Too bad. It's over. I can't be giving the fans something that they like. Are you crazy? You crazy? So I don't know, man. That really sucks. I hate it. I hate that they do that. You're still not over the Hurt Business? Me either, man. It sucks. They were just getting started. They had so much more to give, I think. And they could have even expanded. I would have liked to see Ricochet join the Hurt Business. I'm sure they could have figured that out. That would have been fun. Apollo, maybe at some point they could have made him join over instead of, being a Nigerian prince. Okay. All right, next up is our main event of the night. Karrion Kross defending his NXT championship against a returning Samoa Joe. This is Samoa Joe's first match back with WWE it's been a while. It's been a long time. And one of the first things that we saw is that Karrion Kross came out without Scarlett. No Scarlett. I understand maybe no Scarlett in Raw, in main roster WWE, because Vince. No Scarlett in NXT though. Very odd. Very, very odd. It seems like they might be saving her to make her debut as just a wrestler, which I guess is fine. But like, to me, I've never understood why you couldn't be two things at once. They did it, they did this with the New Day, right? They finally did it with the New Day, which was great because they kept Kofi and the New Day together while Kofi was WWE champion. And that it makes all the sense in the world because they're like a huge support system for each other. Like they love each other. They all want to push each other to be the best that they can. And it worked so well keeping them together. So then, Kofi, what happens with Kofi? It happens with Kofi. He gets squashed in 9 seconds and that's a wrap for that. But then fast forward here to where we are now, and they want to push Big E as a singles competitor. But they can't possibly do that with him being with the New Day. Because reasons. I don't know. I don't get that. So I don't understand why can't Scarlett be with Kross and be a wrestler at the same time? Why can't you? Those things aren't exclusively mutual. Like, why? You could do both. You could do both. There's nothing wrong with doing both. I would even argue that it's better. Scarlett gets more TV time if she's out with Kross, and then you could just have Scarlett come out by herself. She doesn't need Kross in her corner. That's not something that they typically do. So it all makes sense to me. I don't know why that's the route that they went. It doesn't make sense. Basili says, sorry, just waking up from jet lag from 3 flights last night. Man, that's crazy. I feel for you. I hate traveling. Hope you had fun though with whatever you were doing. They were the only thing keeping you watching Raw was the Hurt Business. Yeah, I still can't believe they did that. James says, Ringside News says that Scarlett is not medically cleared to compete on WWE's main roster. So how can she not be cleared to be a manager? And Ringside News sucks, by the way. They're not news. Their exclusives are trash. And the guys are assholes. And yeah, I wouldn't get anything from them, to be honest. I will never listen to anything that they say. I will never take their news as news. I take their news as throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. Or, it's like a clock, right? Even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. That's my summary of those clowns over there. Dial says, I'm calling it now. Kross is done. The crowd alone is burying him. They changed it Hardy. Yeah. Rocco, earlier, Rocco was in the chat saying that they did a little send off for him and they were chanting Hardy during that. And it's, I don't think they know the damage that they did to NXT when they did all of that. Because even I've noticed a shift in the care for NXT. People don't really seem to care. People don't seem to engage with NXT content as much. And everyone is just kind of on that same boat where, like, even I've felt this way for a while. And I've been saying it and people are like, oh, you're crazy, but it finally seems that people are kind of catching up where it's like, why do I care? Why do I invest hours of my life sitting here getting invested in Karrion Kross for you to bring him on your show as the NXT champion and squash him in 20 seconds? What's the point? That does so much damage. Why do you have Charlotte Flair win your Royal Rumble, come to my show, my developmental show, and win my world championship? What's the point? You just take them away? You just take away those championship reigns? because it's developmental now, or it's developmental again. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And we'll close out the show with talking about the future of NXT. Impact is sometimes better than Raw on some nights. Yeah, Impact does good on their pay-per-views, but for some reason I just can't get into their weekly shows, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll give it a chance again at some point. We'll see. The One Faithful Night in July ruined Kross and NXT. Yeah, one show too. Yeah, one show. It's crazy. Do you think Joe was a little gassed up tonight on his match? He might have been. It was his first match back to the ring, and he's never worked with Kross before. Too many gimmicks. Fair enough. It just feels so great to see young, fresh talent as champs. Congratulations, Charlotte and Becky. Yep. Right. 2021 is Samoa Joe's year. He started it as part of Raw's commentary team. He got fired. He came back as part of the NXT brand 2 months later, and now he's the 3-time NXT champion. Yeah, but okay. So, all right, hold on. We're going to fast forward, okay? So, main event, Samoa Joe defeats Karrion Kross to become the first ever 3-time NXT champion. Very happy for Samoa Joe. I'm glad that he's cleared and back to and able to wrestle. And it's all great. I'm not sure what the future of NXT holds for him. I'm not sure who's going to step up to the plate and challenge him. I'm not sure how his run's going to be. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. But I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him. And that leads us right into what you were just talking about. If I'm someone like Ember Moon, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, how do I feel? Like, okay, Samoa Joe, right? We're all on the same wavelength here, with Samoa Joe being a goddamn legend already, right? Samoa Joe is not someone who is developmental, right? We know that this guy can go. We know that he's ready. So if I'm Samoa Joe and I'm returning to NXT, how do I feel about you making my show not important and calling me developmental? I'm not happy about that. You're going to tell me someone like Finn Balor is developmental? That's crazy to me. So I'm very curious to know how these guys feel about that and how that plays into their future. Ember Moon hasn't been seen for a couple weeks now as well. And now Samoa Joe as the NXT champion. What does that mean? Who's going to step up to the plate? Joe bringing back the Muscle Buster made my week. That was great. That looks brutal, man. Especially when you have someone like Kross up there to do that too. That was great. So now the time has come. We talk about the fate of NXT and what is going to happen. From what we know, everything is changing from NXT. They are supposedly going back to the way that they were before, back when they were a 1-hour TV show. And they're not going back to being a 1-hour TV show, and they're not going back to being taped either. So a breakdown of all of this information that I'm aware of so far is that NXT's deal, WWE's deal with Full Sail University expired. They will no longer be at Full Sail. They will not be returning to there. So NXT going forward will remain in the Capitol Wrestling Center, which is the Performance Center, the WWE Performance Center. So the next 3 weeks of NXT is going to be taped. And the reason why the next 3 weeks are going to be taped is because they're going to be renovating. The Capitol Wrestling Center is going to look different. There's going to be a new NXT logo. NXT is going to be produced a little bit different from what I understand. It's going to be more vibrant, more colorful, and it's going to be brighter. It's not going to be as dark of a presentation. And supposedly, something that I'm actually very happy about, is they're removing the goddamn plexiglass from the barricade. That stuff drives me nuts, man. I do not want to sit there and listen to people bang on that shit for 2 or 3 hours. Like, please stop. So thankfully they're going to get rid of that. I like that a lot. So huge changes coming to NXT in its presentation. That is part 1. Part 2. Nick Khan did an interview today with BT Sports. I haven't read or listened to it yet. That is what I'm going to be doing tonight after this. But what I know is that Nick Khan said that all of the releases go through everyone. It's not just him releasing people. Vince knows, Triple H knows, Stephanie knows. Everyone is in the know, and everyone decides who gets released. The releases happened because of where they see the company being presently and in the future. In an internal document that was leaked, I guess, or it was Meltzer hearsay, something like that, they said no more midgets on the roster. I'm not sure what that height requirement is. A lot of people are saying 6 feet. And no people over 30. They want young people who are big and strong to develop. And Nick Khan himself said in this interview, no more indie wrestlers. No more indie wrestlers for NXT. And that is my question. What happens to NXT? Because NXT right now in its current state, its current form is filled with indie wrestlers. What are they going to do? Is there about to be another Black Wednesday coming up where 45 people get released from NXT? Because here's the thing. If those people aren't fit for a developmental program, what makes you think that these people are fit to be on Raw and SmackDown? What happens to Tommaso Ciampa? What happens to Johnny Gargano? What happens to all of these guys? What is the fate of NXT? I don't know, man. I don't know. This very well could be the downfall of NXT. This could be a wrap for NXT. It could be. This is certainly the end of the NXT of this era, whatever you want to call it. The USA Network era, the third brand era. I'm not sure what to refer to it as of right now. But this could be the end, man. This could be the end. To be a little bit more positive about it, we kind of talked about this. I kind of touched about on this a little bit earlier. So Vince doesn't like people that he hasn't created. So any sort of gimmicks that aren't his, wrestlers that are established before they came to WWE, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He's a genius. He wants to create you. He wants to be the mastermind behind you. So this could be a good thing if you want to continue to watch NXT and put your time into it. There is a higher chance that the people that you get interested in NXT, you can actually follow them, because you'll know that when they move on from this developmental brand, which is what we're going to be in right now, NXT is going to be developmental. So when they leave this developmental brand and move to Raw or SmackDown, Vince will have already kind of had his hand in the pot. And he will have had his hand in creating this person, creating their gimmick, creating their star power, if you will, if you want to call it that. So it's more likely that people will be more successful from this new era of NXT when it comes to moving to Raw or SmackDown. That's a positive. That's a positive. How that affects NXT as a whole, though, I don't know, because to me, NXT has always felt like a show for people that were fans of professional wrestling to watch that weren't fans of WWE. I can't tell you how many people I've seen or know that watch NXT and have absolutely no interest in watching Raw or SmackDown. And I'm currently one of those people right now. I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown in like 3 months, 4 months now, something. It's been a while. And I really have no interest in going back. I'm going to, unfortunately, not live coverage, but eventually. So I don't know, man. It's weird that they're going to do this. I wonder if this is going to have an impact on their viewership. I wonder if this is going to have an impact on their relationship with USA Network. There's a lot of questions in the air right now, and I honestly have absolutely no clue where any of this is going to go. And I wanted to make sure to do this show tonight. I wanted to do this watch along, and I wanted to do this post show tonight, because it's the end of an era. And I wanted to make sure that we're here for it and that we're celebrating the love for NXT that we've known and loved for a while now. Yeah, it's changed a little bit since they came to USA, but NXT is still my favorite WWE show out there right now. And I wish them the best. I wish everyone on this roster the best. I hope that everyone is able to keep their jobs and do what it is they love. So I have my fingers crossed going forward, praying to the wrestling gods that NXT will survive this change, and maybe, who knows, man, maybe they will thrive in this change. I have no idea, but everything is just a big question mark at the moment. Velveteen Dream was fired. Wasn't he? They got rid of him a long time ago, didn't they? Where's Austin Theory and Velveteen Dream been? Oh, that was a response to that. Yeah, Velveteen Dream got released a long time ago, because of the speaking out thing. He was accused of something. Austin Theory, he kind of was like frustrated with the way, and he just kind of dipped out one day, and he's been wrestling on dark matches for Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. Yeah, it was. Like I said, I don't know what the future holds, but I just wanted to be here tonight as a send off, because we don't know. It could be good. I'm not sure if we're just supposed to. I'm not sure if this is going to be a slow burn where things will slowly change in NXT, or I don't know if we're going to tune in on Tuesday and everything's going to be fucking different. Maybe it won't change for the next 3 weeks because they're going through that process of changing things. So maybe we still have a little bit more time left with what's going on so they can shape things, or I'm really not sure what to expect. I'm really not. It's a really weird time for NXT. But like I said, I'm going to watch this Nick Khan interview tonight. I'll have a post on the website, and I'll probably do some social media posts on Twitter and Instagram with some things that I think are very interesting, but I'll have full coverage of it over there for people to skim over if they don't want to watch it. I'm very interested in hearing what he has to say. There's a lot of business stuff that goes on about the releases and everything, and about the future of NXT. So maybe it'll give a little bit of insight. I don't know on what to expect. So I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see. It's one of those things. Theory wrestled Ridge Holland before SmackDown. That's crazy. I hope that they don't take Ridge Holland from NXT, because he should be there. I'm starting to see rumors that Bray Wyatt has signed with AEW. His non-compete isn't up yet, so he couldn't be like officially signed, but they could be in talks. I hope so. Jaden says, I'll never forget the wars with Balor and Joe, or Shinsuke and Rude. Yeah, man, old school NXT was crazy. Old school NXT is crazy. And like, maybe they'll be able to capture those moments again. Maybe they'll be able to capture those moments. It's possible. It's possible. This very well could be a good thing for NXT. It could. We just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If you want, okay, I'll give you my opinion before I get out of here on what I think that they should do, or they should have done. And this is what okay, Rated C, I see your comment. I'll read that first and then I'll go into that. Okay, so Rated C says, I feel like the no more indie wrestler part is straight cap. I say this because most of the people on the roster are indie wrestlers, and they just sign a few indie wrestlers at the tryout. So, okay. So the reason why they say that is because they don't like the indie style for WWE. WWE wants their wrestlers to work a specific way. And from what I understand, they sign indie people, and then they get this like NXT indie style that they wrestle on NXT. And then when they move them from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, they have to untrain them from that. So the whole goal for them is to create that WWE style from the beginning and push them through NXT and get them ready through that with the WWE style, and then put them on, and then they're ready to go. They don't have to do anything. That's my understanding for that. So here is what I would do. I would completely remove all WWE branding from NXT. I would keep NXT its own thing. It would be completely separate. I mean, you can keep the WWE name if you wanted on it, attached to it, but make NXT its own. Completely separate it. It's not a third brand. It's not developmental. It is its own entity that just so happens to be owned by WWE, because you get that feeling where you it's a WWE show for people who don't like WWE. That's what it is. That's what NXT is. And that's what it should remain. And NXT should do their own thing. It should be led by its own team that is completely separate. And of course, as long as they're positive, they're making money, then let it go. It's all good, right? And I say this all the time because I feel like they should have done this way back in the day with WCW as well. Vince should have never absorbed WCW and put it into WWE. They should have had a WWE show, and they should have had a WCW show. Think of what you could do if you owned WWE and WCW. You could create crazy ass moments. And sure, some people will know. Obviously, the word is going to get out that someone else that Vince McMahon bought it, but he was too crazy, or like he was too obsessed with the fact that WCW was kicking their ass, and he ended up being able to take them over, and not only take them over, but destroy them and purchase them. That's a huge accomplishment. And I get it. I get it. He wanted to kick them while they were down. But imagine if you own Coke and Pepsi. Who cares? Right? That's the argument. Like, if you drink soda, you're drinking a Coke product or you're drinking a Pepsi product. Who cares which one you're drinking when you own both of them? So, same thing can be applied here. NXT is its own entity. It's by itself. It's its own thing. Give us another show on Peacock that's an hour long, and it's fully developmental, and it's taped. So now you have the best of both worlds, right? NXT exists on its own as long as it's profitable. You continue to let them do what they're doing there. Unrivaled. They have no competition. They're on Tuesday. Everything is good. Your new show, which was rumored to be a thing anyways, that was like some sort of thing after they swallowed Evolve. It was like NXT something where they had veterans working with newer talent. Have that show, have it be called something else, not NXT, obviously. Some sort of developmental thing, and then you just start over from there. Why not? You get the best of both worlds. You get everything that you wanted, and everyone's happy, and there's more money on the table. I don't understand why you wouldn't just do that. Maybe it's money reasons. I don't necessarily know, but to me, from an outsider looking in, that makes so much sense to me. So I guess we'll just see. Gotta head out now because I have an interview tomorrow. Good luck on your interview, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here as well. I went a little bit over what I had expected. Let's see. James, I'm looking for your comment for. Oh, if NXT changes their logo, I hope they get to keep the giant eagle. Yeah, the new, and I mean, it's kind of weird to change their logo already. You know what I mean? They haven't had it for that long. Great point. WWE wants their talent to wrestle a certain style. That's why Punk said he left wrestling in 2005 and returned in 2021. Yeah, I don't get why people were so offended by that. It's no secret that WWE doesn't want to be a wrestling show. They try to get so far away from wrestling. Their people are not called wrestlers. They're called superstars. Hint number one, right? They're not professional wrestling. They're sports entertainment. They do anything and everything that they can to get away from that wrestling cliche. So I don't understand why people are so worked up about it. It makes sense to me. Ayan says, I'll see you at the next post show. What an enjoyable weekend with 3 post shows and 3 watch alongs. Had a great time. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. What's your schedule for this week? Any post shows or watch alongs? I'm not sure what to expect this week. Expect some videos for sure. I'm going to try to get some videos out. I want to do a lot more of those. Albert says, thank you for this great post show. Takeover was amazing, and I'll be back for your next post show. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank all of you guys for tuning in, man. It's been a crazy week. This is the 6th live stream that I have done since Friday. The support has been crazy. Tons of new subscribers on both channels, tons of watch hours, tons of likes, tons of engagement across the board. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We're gonna have to try to figure out some new stuff to do. I don't know, maybe watch alongs for SmackDown. I don't know. I'll come up with something. It'll be a lot of fun. Trevin says, been one of the greatest wrestling weekends ever, and we appreciate your efforts always, and remember your go to. Thank you, man. I appreciate all of you so much. I really do. You guys are the best. Thank you for spending your time with me. It's the greatest. I love just hanging out and chatting with people and going over all of this. I have a lot of stuff planned for the future, so just remember that we're just getting started. We are just getting started. This is just the beginning. I promise you that. There's a lot more on the horizon, and hopefully we'll be there soon. King of the post shows, thank you, man. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. All right, guys, have a good rest of your night, and I will see you all sometime soon, hopefully tomorrow, for a video. Have a good rest of your night, and I appreciate you guys spending your weekend with me. Have a good rest of your night, and I will see you guys later. Peace.